Serie, our world.
Hello.
Hi man,
How's it going?
good thanks. Yeah, a lot of Serie action over the weekend to talk about. Still thinking about it now, even though it's Tuesday.
Yeah, and I know you're on your lunch, so we're going to make this as quick as possible so you can actually have some time for yourself as well.
And then go back to my non-Serie job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know people probably think our whole job is 24/7 Serie, right? But unfortunately, at the moment, the Serie, those that are in charge can hear this. We are not getting paid for what we're doing.
No pays, no sponsorships, no nothing. So if anyone wants to invest, including big companies and Serie themselves, we'd be grateful. Yes. Okay, so I'll quickly go through the results. We had the only two draws of the weekend started at the beginning with Como Parma drawing 1-1, Genoa Bologna drawing 2-2, Milan beating Udinese 1-0, Juve beating Lazio 1-0, and Napoli beating Empoli 1-0. And then Fiorentina bucked that trend with a 6-0 win against Lecce. Atalanta beat Venezia 2-0. Cagliari Torino, which is probably the game for me for the weekend, 3-2 to Cagliari. Inter beating Roma 1-0, and then Monza beating Verona 3-0. So that's the weekend's results. Any in particular you want to talk about, or jump straight to Europe?
I mean, what I was wanting to talk about, one thing, Milan, the Milan game, right?
Yeah.
So, Renders was sent off.
Yeah.
I watched the replay about 1,000 times. I'm not kidding you, and it's not from choice. It was because the programme I was watching, they just kept showing, and they were interviewing the VAR team and everything.
Yeah.
And for me, it was, I couldn't see it for most of the match.
It just
replay,
clips
so it was a
it,
very tight one, wasn't it? Yeah.
But it's not him deliberately doing it at the same time. It's one of those grey areas where I understand it's a red card because they're saying he's through on goal, but at the same time Rangers is kind of pulled out of it. He's not really trying to go and, do you know what I mean? He's not gone and lunged in for him, which makes a bit of a difference, which in that sense they should be looking at it and saying, look, I think more of a yellow, but because of the way the rules are, it's a red card. I mean, Milan still held on with the 10 men, and that was most of the game, really. It was, I can't remember when he went off now, but it just changed the game, obviously. But what can you do about it? I mean, Milan got away with it as well in the sense of Udinese's goals were ridiculously close, and that just reminds me of last season how many goals were disallowed just because of a little toe, or edge of a shoulder, or do you know what I mean? Or even the ball when it goes over the line of it having like an inch of the ball, or even not even that, just on the line and not being counted, and it's crazy. And that's where I still, again, personally for me, I just feel that is not offside. That shouldn't be an offside, and they should change the offside rule to where it's literally clear. You're clear. The forward is clear of the defender, and there is air between where you can see a gap. That should be offside. Even if the guy's foot is just in line with the other defender, that should count. It's taken away so many goals and so many attacking moments, and then you've got all this rule of the linesman holding his flag down even when it's ridiculously offside, and that's just stupid. That just says to me they should hold it down if they've got a doubt, not if they know it's offside. If it's miles offside, put your flag up. What is the point? It's a waste of time. And that's another issue that we can talk about another time, because there's so many time wasting bits in football that are not even necessarily part of the game itself. It's even at the start and stuff like that, and during the game and whatever else, and it's down to you there? I think we lost him. Are you back?
Back.
Yeah, and so I was just saying, there's loads of time wasting, and it's down to also officials as well as just the way the game is run. But That's another topic we can always talk about. Any other games you want to go over quickly?
Yeah. So I'll quickly skim over the ones that I was interested in. So Juve Lazio again. Juve win.
Yeah.
Again, Di Gregorio, another clean sheet for him. But bigger picture, Juve is still pushing on and in time for their tough games that they've got coming up in Europe and Inter as well on the weekend. But so for me that was more of the same of the sort of the top 4 teams. So Inter won. I saw Svilla, his interview after, and he claimed that the gods of football said it's not Roma's day. And Lautaro, he hit a big milestone. He's now joint top foreign goal scorer of all time for Inter. So that maybe bolsters to the judges the cause for Ballon d'Or, additional to what Messi's endorsement. So there's that too. So some individual stuff going on there.
I was just going to say, if you're a betting man, I would say probably bet on him because Messi said it. And I don't know if you saw or noticed, because Messi plays for Inter Miami, FIFA decided to put Inter Miami into the Club World Cup and let them host it as well and do the first game. And
is that without them having to qualify?
I can't remember what it is they've done. Because you know how the way America's a bit different, but they've got stuff like Team of the Year or something like that, and that's why they go. And that's the excuse FIFA are given. But apparently everyone in America's going crazy over it, as in annoyed and not happy that they're just letting them through.
Is that because they didn't win their league?
I think they're still doing it. It's not finished. I think that's the issue. But they've announced it and everything, and they're letting them host it. All of it. They're doing the first game of the whole tournament. It's just another joke, and you can see how FIFA works and how UEFA work as well. It's just a joke. The whole football is a joke in general, the way it's run.
That's crazy. I'm definitely going to look into that. Because, it makes no sense to just pick a random team that you want to go through.
So I think one of the reasons they gave is because they had record points or something like that. It's something silly anyway, just like Team of the Year rather than they qualified because they should have qualified. But, and that's another matter. That's what I was just saying. Like if Messi said something, it's probably a bit on Martinez. But you can't hold me responsible if it doesn't happen because I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to push Haaland or someone else for it. Do you know what I mean? So
we've seen this before, haven't we?
Plenty of times.
The most logical choice should get it, and somehow
if it's not Messi, if it's not Ronaldo, it's probably going to be Haaland, and they're just going to keep the same people going on and on and on, and rarely give someone else a go in it, no matter what they do. Sorry, is there anything else you wanted to say before
there was. So just still on the Roma Inter, there's a lot of talk now of Totti coming back to play in Serie A, only because he said never say never, and he's been asked by certain clubs. I would love to see that if he can still play.
But that's the thing.
Let's see, it might just be chit chat.
I know they were saying that he's got his own team, isn't he? I can't remember if it's a 5-a-side team or something that he keeps playing. So he does play football regularly. He's still playing football, so I'm guessing he is fit still. But I mean, he's going to be, by the time this would be sorted out, I think he'd be 48 or something like that. So, and I think, to be honest, from when he's retired to now, I don't think he'd even realise the difference in Serie A, in playing in Serie A. I mean, let's just say one of the teams got him. I think there'd be more of a sub at the end of this game rather than playing full 90 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it would most likely be one of the smaller teams.
Yeah, and I think it's more. It'll be a more publicity stunt than anything, really.
Definitely.
But you never know. Who knows?
So just quickly on another point was just on those top 4 teams. Obviously Napoli as well. Just they won. The top 4 is the same, making a real claim for it. For me, it's still, I think, between Juve and Napoli personally, but let's see. That's all I was going to say about this.
I mean, Napoli's the only team that's actually been up there and stayed up there. I mean, I think it was, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I think it's the first 6 games was 6 different teams or something like that. And then since then, obviously, Napoli's held the top spot, which it took a penalty for them to win that one. Empoli obviously have been doing well up until the last couple of games, but yeah, we've got Napoli in the lead at the moment, and they are going to be tough to take off, but I think there's so many teams that can do it. It's just going to be a case of consistency, really, and consistent wins rather than consistent losses, obviously. So yeah, I'll just jump into the games in Europe. So I'll run backwards. Thursday we've got in the Conference League St. Gallen versus Fiorentina, 5:45. In the Europa League we've got Roma, Dynamo Kiev at the same time, and then Lazio travel to I don't know if I'm saying this right, Enschede. I'm not sure who they are without looking it up. I'm not going to pretend to either. Then Champions League starts tonight, 5:45. Milan are playing Club Brugge. Would have been more interesting, I suppose, if we still had De Ketelaere at Milan, but they're not there, so he's not there, so that doesn't really matter. So that's De Ketelaere's 2 old teams playing each other. At 8 PM, Juve versus Stuttgart, and then Aston Villa versus Bologna. And then tomorrow, Atalanta versus Celtic at 5:45, and Young Boys versus Inter at 8 PM. So possible to watch most of those games.
Possible to see 3 points in each of those games for the Serie A teams, would you say?
Well, I mean, I would hope so and would expect so. I mean, I'm sure people from here would be more like, oh, Aston Villa have got Bologna, I'm sure they'll do them over, but I'm hoping Bologna are starting to come back now and be too tough for them, but we'll see. That's going to be actually it's hard to pick a best game out of all of them, really. They're all going to be quite close in their own way, I suppose. Saying Club Brugge, Milan, the way Milan have been inconsistent, is going to be that thing of they're at home as well, so they should be able to be winning there. Juve, Stuttgart, and then Bologna away at Villa, and then Atalanta, so with Young Boys in there. So, I mean, I'm hoping for 3 points in each game, yeah. Sorry, I went a long way about that. So, and then I say on Friday we'll talk about the results from that, and then the weekend results coming up. Weekend fixtures coming up, and go from there. I mean, is there anything else before you have to go off?
Let's say one about the first game today. So I think it's a absolute win, right? 3 points they must take, because it doesn't feel like it, but they've lost, haven't they?
They've lost both games.
First 2.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. And I know they fought hard in at least one of them a lot, and the other one they had a chance to win it early, but unfortunately it was all undone. But you'd like to think, they start with their first win.
Well, if they do lose tonight, then I think that's over. Well, not over in the sense of Champions League, because because the way it's run, they could probably still sneak into the playoffs if they do well. But I'm just thinking that Fonseca's going to get another knife in the back, shall we say, if he loses tonight.
Yeah.
And they won't be happy.
No. The other one small point, so Spalletti, I don't know if you saw that he was in the stadium against Empoli.
Yeah, I saw
he was there. Yeah, so they say he was there to monitor Esposito and Fazzini.
Okay.
So he's thinking about calling them up, their first call-ups.
Yeah, and there is both his ex-teams as well, so that helps.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's managed both of them, hasn't he? So.
Ah, yes, yeah. So he was among friends.
Well, you'd think so, you'd hope so for him.
Yeah, but I know you're a big fan of Fanzini. You mentioned him early on.
Yeah.
And Esposito, we've known about him for a long time and always wanted him to get a chance somewhere. But
he's starting to get some form now.
Do you think those two deserve to be in that Azzurri 11?
Well, I think, as I said last time, I think at the moment, the way Italy are playing and starting to settle in together, I think it's going to be hard for anyone to just walk in. Do you know what I mean? It's not that thing of, right, we don't know who we're going to play, all these players are playing rubbish and all that. They're actually starting to look more like a team. So, as I was saying before, I think I said last time, even Barella coming back, I think, because he's Barella, he'll probably will be put in, but he shouldn't just be put in just because. I mean, at the moment, you've got Tonali, Fratesi and that all playing well, so...
Yeah, Fratesi, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Any time he comes on, right, he does something. Like even yesterday, he basically set up the goal, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he's, as I was saying, even when he was at Sassuolo, he's such a good player, and I think he's got so much potential, and I think he's even got that potential to be better than Barella, in the sense of not only being a goal-scoring midfielder and getting quite a lot of goals. He's not. The thing that I don't like about Barella is the bookings, the unnecessary bookings. He gets a lot of them, and I think that's where Fratesi could come in a bit better in sense of discipline. Do you know what I mean? But in football terms, I still think he could end up being as good, if not better, if he carries on as he is.
Yeah, definitely. It's strange that I find it strange he's mostly on the bench.
Well, I think if Inter keep playing him like that, I think he'll go summer. I can't see him wanting to stay like that again next year.
No, that's very true. I mean, well, with Calhanoglu now injured for, it seems like quite a bit of time.
Well, I don't know, they said it weren't as bad, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently that he's obviously going to miss the European game and Juve game, but they said after that he may be back.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't as bad as it seemed.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as it first seemed. That's what I've read. Who knows? You never know these days. I might have read the wrong thing, do you know what I mean? But from what I gathered, he will be back shortly. And I don't know if that means fully fit or not. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, so Fratesi may just have a few starts.
Yeah, and
let's see how it goes.
And if he does what he normally does, it'll be again hard for Calhanoglu to just get straight back in as well. It depends how they're going to play things, but yeah, looking forward to the games. And yeah, I suppose I'll leave you to the rest of your lunch and then speak to you Friday about what's happened.
We will indeed, and just in case anybody was holding hope for De Rossi to come back, Roma have officially denied any rumour, and they say Juric will be here at least until the end of the season. So
I think that's a bit of a statement, isn't it? If they go on a 5-game loss, I don't think he will be there next season. So
yeah. Sorry, there was just one small.
Yeah.
I always do this, but this is I couldn't leave it without mentioning. You remember Manolas?
Yeah.
Right. And you know, it was his debut as a striker at his new club, his Greek club. His team won 12-1. he himself scored 5 goals.
Not too bad,
is
is
it? Debut. I think it's a non-league team though, so
yeah.
I mean, take it with a pinch of salt, but still, 5 goals on your debut as a striker as well. That's crazy.
And late 30s now, isn't he? Must be.
Exactly.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll leave it there, and we'll see you Friday about the rest of the games.
Cheers, see ya.
Alright.